Have you ever wondered how to quietly remove the toxic elements from your life? Not with big, dramatic confrontations, but with a gentle, internal shift that brings lasting peace. In today's calm and reflective exploration, we're going to dive deep into the Stoic approach to doing just that. Stoicism isn't about dusty old books, lofty lectures, or rigid, joyless rules. It's a living, breathing philosophy that offers practical tools to help us navigate the complexities of modern life with clarity, resilience, and grace. This journey will unfold slowly, giving you the space to breathe, to reflect, and to truly integrate each idea into your own life. So, find a comfortable spot, quiet your surrounding, and let's begin. To start, let's acknowledge our common human struggles. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing external achievements, believing that the next promotion, the next purchase, or the next social media milestone will finally make us happy. We often find ourselves reacting impulsively to events, letting a rude comment or a minor setback derail our entire day, or we dwell on what we lack, comparing our lives to the curated highlight reels of others. The Stoics, ancient philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, understood these struggles deeply. They taught that true, unshakable peace doesn't come from the outside world. It comes from within. It comes from aligning our thoughts, our actions, and our values with our own nature and with virtue. The very first principle, and perhaps the most powerful, is focusing only on what we can control. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Imagine drawing a circle around yourself. Inside that circle are your thoughts, your judgments, your decisions, and your actions. These are the things you have direct power over. Outside that circle is everything else. What other people think of you, the weather, traffic, the global economy, and the outcomes of your efforts. The Stoic practice is to pour all of your energy into what's inside your circle and to accept what's outside with calm indifference. Modern writer Sergio Balasubramanian explains, this simple idea is revolutionary. When life feels chaotic and overwhelming, Stoic philosophy encourages us to stay calm by acting with reason instead of reacting with emotion. Instead of stressing about a potential job rejection, we focus on preparing the best possible application. Instead of getting angry about a delayed flight, we use the extra time to read or reflect. This shift in focus is the first step toward reclaiming your inner peace. Now, let's explore how to build the strength to handle life's inevitable challenges. Stoicism isn't about pretending that bad things won't happen. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about preparing for them so they don't break you when they arrive. This brings us to our second principle, cultivating resilience through practices like negative visualization. This might sound pessimistic, but it's actually a profoundly optimistic tool. Ancient Stoics like Epictetus advised us to regularly and calmly imagine challenges before they happen. What if you lost your job? What if a relationship ended? What if you faced a health scare? The point isn't to create anxiety, but to mentally rehearse your response. By considering these possibilities in a calm, controlled way, we prepare ourselves to meet misfortune not with panic, but with composure and courage. A side effect of this practice is a surge of gratitude. When you imagine losing the things you hold dear, you become incredibly thankful for what you have right now: your health, your loved ones, your home. You learn to appreciate them not as permanent possessions, but as precious gifts on loan from fortune. This practice strips fear of its power and fills your present moment with deep appreciation. Next, let's consider the crucial difference between reacting and responding. A reaction is automatic, almost like a reflex. It's driven by impulse, emotion, and instinct. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you immediately lay on the horn and feel a surge of anger. That's a reaction. A response, on the other hand, is conscious and considered. It's rooted in your values and your reason. It involves a deliberate pause between the event and your action. To build this responsive mindset, Stoic teachers emphasized 4 key steps. First is awareness, simply noticing the impulse to react. Second is the pause, taking a deep breath and creating a space between stimulus and response. Third is reframing your perspective, asking yourself if this event truly harms your inner self, your character. That driver didn't hurt your integrity, they just made a mistake. Fourth is focusing on what you can control. You can't control their driving, but you can control your own peace of mind. These practices might seem simple, but they are like mental push-ups. With consistent training, you build the mental muscle to stay composed under pressure, to choose your actions wisely, and to protect your inner tranquility from external chaos. Another profound Stoic insight is about managing our desires and aversions. The Stoics observe that most of our inner turmoil comes from wanting things we do want to have or fearing things that might happen. That our desires, if left unchecked, lead to a life of constant craving, disappointment, and envy. We're always chasing the next thing, believing it will bring us happiness, only to find the goalposts have moved again. By consciously reducing our unnecessary desires and learning to appreciate what is already within our reach, we can free ourselves from this exhausting cycle. This isn't about living a life devoid of ambition or pleasure. It's about shifting our source of fulfillment from the external to the internal. When we turn inward and focus on building our character, our courage, our justice, our wisdom, our measure of success changes. It's no longer about wealth, status, or praise. It's about living with integrity and virtue, day in and day out. True wealth becomes a well-ordered mind. Throughout this entire journey, it's crucial to remember that Stoicism is not about becoming a robot or eliminating emotion. That's a common misconception. It's about understanding our emotions, recognizing where they come from, and choosing wise responses instead of being controlled by them. Anger, sadness, and fear are natural human experiences. The Stoic doesn't try to suppress them, but asks, is this emotion based on a true and rational judgment? Hardship isn't something to be avoided at all costs. It's an opportunity for growth. As the great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means every obstacle, every challenge, every toxic element we encounter can be used as fuel. It can be a chance to practice patience, to show courage, to exercise wisdom, and to make us stronger, more resilient, and more virtuous if we approach it with the right mindset. So, before we finish, let's bring this all back to you. Take a quiet moment right now to reflect on how these principles might apply to your life. Think about the sources of stress or toxicity you're currently facing. What is truly within your control, and what can you learn to let go of? Where can you practice pausing before you react? How might practicing gratitude or even negative visualization reshape your perspective on what you already have? Embrace these questions gently. There's no pressure to find all the answers at once. Allow them to be your guide in your day-to-day living, like a quiet compass pointing you toward inner peace. Remember, the path to inner mastery is not a sprint. It's a gradual, lifelong journey. Every small step, every conscious choice matters. If this perspective on building a resilient and peaceful mind resonated with you, I invite you to join our community. Follow and subscribe to Master of Mind for more Stoic wisdom, practical guidance, and moments of clarity. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. Be well.